No, not 4K.
We are live.
Okay, today's shir is a schis for, not only Nishmas, schis for Kiva Simcha Fega. A schis for is going for Chav Basmerim, Ahuv Basmerim, and the Vadar Ben Peril. Okay, so we're going to do a Chazara, yes, also for no problem, for the names that Volvi said. Now, I think you muted me? No. Okay. I hope they hear. Do you guys hear?
You don't hear them answer. Yeah.
Beautiful. You hear him answering very good. Okay, it doesn't work anyways.
I don't hear you.
Okay, shkoyach mati shkoyach. Fine. So, bottom line, we're going to do a chazar from yesterday from the Gemara, and we're going to say again this, and then we're going to go to the new portion, which is going to be, we're going to discuss it right before we start getting into it. Interesting stuff today. Today, we're hopefully going to get to, it's okay. We're hopefully going to get to very, very interesting sugyas. It's going to talk about a gittin on an animal, using an animal for walls and all these fun stuff. So, Mani Masnisan, the Gemara starts off, who authored this Mishnah? Who's this Mishnah going, who's the one that said this Mishnah? Rabbi Kiva here, it's Rabbi Kiva. There's Sanya, because we went in a Braisa, Ha'isa Sekatzai B'Rosh Ilan, B'Rosh Sfina, Rabbi Gamliel Paisa, Rabbi Gamliel passes it, Rabbi Kiva Machsher, and he says it's kosher. And again, the Braisa is clarifying what the Mishnah says, like we explained yesterday. Ma'aser Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Kiva Shoyim Boy Mesfina, that they went on a boat. Amad Rabbi Kiva, Vasa Sukkah. Rabbi Kiva went up and he made a sukkah on top of the boat. B'Rosh Hashanah on top of the boat. L'machar nishbaru v'akarta. The next day came a very powerful wind and ripped it up. Amad Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Gamliel said, Akiva hechon sukkasech. Where's your sukkah? You put up a sukkah. It's not here. He's trying to bring a point to him. Listen, I say it's not a good sukkah for this type of reason. This is the reason why it shouldn't be good. So now, Amar Abaya. Abaya comes and says, and he's explaining further each of their positions. The Kuli Alma Hecha De'eni Yechol Lami B'Ruch Mitzuya all agree in a case that it cannot withstand a regular wind, regular breeze, diabasha of land, like klimi. If it cannot withstand it, and any little breeze will knock down this sikah, it's not a valid sikah. Yechol Lamid B'Shein Mitzuya diabasha. If it can withstand a strong wind of the land, everyone agrees it would be kosher. Again, if there's strong gusts of wind and it withstands it, then everyone agrees it's a kosher sukkah. Ki pligi, when do they argue? They're arguing in a case where it's capable to stand on a standard wind of the land. And again, so it's the middle ground. Everyone agrees a light breeze, it cannot withstand, no good. Everyone agrees strong winds, it can withstand, it is good. So what's the middle ground? It can withstand a light breeze, but cannot withstand a strong, 50 mile an hour winds. Rabbi Gamliel, Savar, Sukkadiras, Keva Binan. And now, each one, they're going to say their position. Rabbi Gamliel says a sukkah needs to be a keva. Like we saw in the past, he actually mentions it, a bunch of Tanam that's saying by Dav Zion. We mentioned it already. Needs to be keva. So, Savar Sukkadiras Keva Binan. He says it needs to be keva. V'chivon de'eni yechol lamed b'ruch mitzuya diyam lo klumhi. Someone's at somebody's door. Just letting you know. V'chivon de'eni yechol lamed b'ruch mitzuya diyam lo klumhi. And since it cannot withstand a normal wind of the land, of the ocean, which we said is a strong wind of the land, it's to Rabbi Gamliel, this is a worthless. It's a lo klumhi. It's not a sikah. Why? Because it's not keva. Rabbi Kiva, what does he hold? He holds it needs to be aray. Sovar sukkah diras aray binon needs to be aray. The Kiva diachol lamoid b'ruch matzuya diabashak shera. And since it can withstand a strong wind, a regular wind on the land, that's good enough for him. So he says, I'm good as long as it can withstand the winds on the land, a regular wind, not a super powerful wind. That's enough of a aray to be, like we said, if it's can't withstand it. Its mamish doesn't even make the status of a temporary. This is at least temporary, and it's good according to Rabbi Kiva. And we brought this whole case to show that this part of the Mishnah was written by Rabbi Akiva. Now we're going to go on to the next part of the Mishnah. So these dots, what it's saying is, Oyel Gabe Gamel. This is the next part of the Mishnah, and it's going to start off the same way the Gemara started off at the beginning. Who authored this part of the Mishnah? Because the Mishnah doesn't have to be one person, it could be a few Tanaim that had different parts of it. So now we want to understand who said this part of the Mishnah. Mani masnisin mani. Who was it? Rabbi Meir. It's Rabbi Meir. Now, how do we know this? So again, we're going to bring a brisa, which further clarifies what the Mishnah says, and it's going to show that Rabbi Meir holds this in the brisa. So therefore, this portion of the Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. The Sanya, because he says in a brisa, someone who makes a sukkah on top of an animal, right? Reb Meir machshir. Reb Meir says it's kosher. Happens to be very interesting thing if you think about it. I saw a few different ways that it could be. What do you mean? You have a sukkah on top. What's the matter? Oh, okay. You have a sukkah on top of an animal. You leave it there for a day or two. This animal's going to jump around. It's going to fall off or whatever it is.
What do you mean? The cows on the slime.
What?
The cows on the slime.
Yeah, no, that's an oil. That was, yeah, very good. Very, it's very. No, I know, but no. But what's the whole point? I think there's a picture of it. It's mamish on like there's a picture of Gabi Gomel, maybe in the back. Basically, it's on top of it, right? Here it's on top of behemoth, it says, but whatever. But basically, it's on top of it. So imagine, how did he think it's going to last for multiple days? I don't know. I saw one or two pshatim that basically say, no. It actually has four, there's four like spokes, like we said, in the ground. And basically you brought this animal with like a platform, and it was there for that time, and
like a mobile
so
home
maybe,
back of a
maybe it would work.
So that's the last one, yeah.
No, so we're going to see.
No,
Oh, so we're going to
how you
see.
put it on the camera and just stay there for...
It's going to break. No, it's just so that. Yeah, we're about to see. We're about to, that's a good question.
Stay
Exactly.
tuned.
No, exactly what you said. Ask me, who said it needs to be for 7 days? We're about to see. So Meir Machshir says it's kosher. Yehuda Paisel, they happens to be, no, let's leave it right now. So Meir Machshir and Yehuda Paisel. My type of Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason why Rabbi Yehuda is Paisels having this sukkah? Amar Kra, like you just said, Chag HaSukkos Taslach HaSheves Yam. He says why? Because he learns from the pasuk Chag HaSukkos Taslach HaSheves Yam. It has to be 7 days. Sukkah Haruya L'Shiva Shma Sukkah. And we know from the Mishnah that you cannot go on top of this during the Yom Tov. It's kosher, but only for Chol Hamoed. Why? Sukkah shein Haruya L'Shiva L'Shma Sukkah. So this is Rabbi Yehuda. He says he passes it. Why? Because it's you can't go on it all 7 days, and since there's a day that you can't go on it, no good. So and again, we said it's all derabanan, right? So if let's say you did go on it, somebody went on it, he's yotzei the mitzvah. So it's a derabanan that you can't go on it on Yom Tov. So now Reb Meir. So what does Reb Meir do with this? Hanami midaraisa mechse chazir. Basically, he says, very good. That's why I wanted to bring in that it's a derabanan that you're not allowed to. Reb Meir says, derabanan you can't go on it all 7 days, but midaraisa you're allowed to. So technically, it's roy for 7 days. Technically, minat Torah, this is a kosher sukkah for 7 days. Therefore, I say it's kosher to go on it. Again, you can't go on it on Yom Tov, it's a derabanan. If you do, you're to the mitzvah, but that's what he says. V'Rabbanan hu degazerba, and the Rabbanan were the ones that were geyser this takana. Now, this next part, this is the end of this portion. So now the Gemara brought another portion of the Mishnah, and it got us to this point. This next thing is a whole new sugya. Once it's talking about Reb Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, talking about, I guess, animals, and having a sukkah on top of an animal. Now it wants to say, what about using the animal for the walls of the sukkah itself? Okay, so let's see this next little portion. We'll go a few lines. I just thought it was very interesting, wanted to get into it because it is, if you think about it, the concepts and the cases, it is out of whack. Like, who brought this question? Really, you can have an animal here? How you can keep this animal here for 7 days as a wall? All right, let's see. So, asal lebehema doifen. And the little base over there says that starts off Tanu Rabbanan, and whenever it says Tanu Rabbanan, it's not a continuation, it's its own new thing. This is a new sugya. Asal lebehema doifen l'sukkah. If someone used an animal, I'm sorry? Yeah, he made it exactly. And there's a picture of it. You see, there's a picture of there's two walls, and you see a behema as a wall, right? Reb Meir Pais, Reb Meir says he passes it. Rabbi Yehuda Machshir happens to be the opposite of the last sugya, where Rabbi Yehuda says it was pasul, Reb Meir says it was kosher. Now it's the opposite. So why? Why does Reb Meir say it's pasul? Shahai Reb Meir Omer, kol davar sheish b'ruach chayim, anything that has life, air breathing in it, right? Ein oisin oisei loy doy from the sukkah, not a wall for a sukkah, v'loy lechi lemavoy, If you think about this, lechi lemavoi, this is the part that's like,
Mind blowing.
exactly, and it's going to continue getting more mind-blowing. We spoke about mavoi, right? What's a mavoi? We said it was like that sort of courtyard where you would be allowed to carry, but the Darabbanan said in order to carry there, you have to have either the lechi on the sides or the kaira across. So here, the guys before Shabbos doesn't have a beam. All right, I need a hecker, I need a simon. Let me stick this animal, this sheep, this donkey, whatever it is. Let me put him over here. We'll tie him up to the wall, whatever it is, and everybody's going to know that this is a lechi. Okay, great. It doesn't. So Amir says you can't do that. Interesting that he had to say it. V'loi pasin birois, and not a pasin birois is sort of pasin means like, I don't know the technical term, maybe arts like, but I know what it is. It's basically the way it used to be. Oh, boards. Thank you. So basically, it's boards. Yeah. So basically, what it is like this: when people would go to Bi'olah Regel, right? So they would travel for long distances, and it would take time, and it would be a lot of Shabbosim that they would be going through. What happened was, you can't carry water and everything for your animals for months at a time. And what they would do is, they would have, along the way, there would be wells. Wells were generally in Rosh Hashanah. But the inside of the well, the public wells, but the wells itself were Rosh Hashanah, because it was deep enough and big enough to be its own Rishos.
Even though it's a community well,
Correct. The well itself inside is a Rosh Hashanah. It is in a Rosh Hashanah. So if you draw water from there, you're doing Haitzah. You're taking it from the well into the Rosh Hashanah. It's a problem. So what did they do? The Rabbanan said, listen, this is a problem. You didn't have a big problem. They're being other regal. What are we going to do about it? So they came up with an idea. What we're going to do is we're going to have like a shtikla simon. We're going to put a tefach by tefach little posts, a corner. We're going to do 4 corners, and that's enough. So this case is saying, Rabbi Meir says you cannot use an animal for one of the corners. You may want to use an animal. Let's say you have 3 enough beams or boards for 3. The 4th corner cannot be an animal. Okay. And the last part is v'loy goyel lekever, and not even a goyel lekever is like a blocking for a kaver. So if you think about it, there would be many times kvarim. If you go to Miron, right, you have a lot of times underneath. There's like these kvarim you could go into to the talmidim. It's like a little cave and whatever it is. So this would be to sort of put the animal to block it and use it as a separator. It doesn't work. He says it can't work. It won't even be makabel tuma if you put it there.
What, the animal?
The animal.
Animal can be done.
No, you won't be able to convey tuma also. Correct, because it's alive. It wouldn't work. He says you can't use it and it won't work. And the very last part, which is the part that I want to get to, is Mishum Rabbi Glili. He added Amru Af Ein Kaisen of Giti Nashim. You also don't write Giti Nashim, which is very funny. Like you imagine somebody today's days, you want to sue somebody, right? Hey, you serve them. So here, this guy, I came up with a great idea. He's going to write a get on a cow. Here's a gift, you've been served. I just thought it was a very funny concept. Advertisement on a bus. The guy's sending, here's a gift, haha, you're free. Toodaloo. So it sounded to me was a funny thing. Wanted to get to it. So now let's do a quick chazara on the Gemara. So we're right in the middle. Oyel gabe gamel, the Mishnah, and we're going to do this a little bit quicker. Masnis and Mani. Who's this Mishnah? Rameir Yitz Rameir. The Sanya, because we learned in the Bride. So ha'isa sekasa gabe behema. Someone who makes his sukkah on top of the animal. Rameir Machshir. Rameir says it is kosher. Rabbi Yehuda Paisel. Rabbi Yehuda says it's pasul. Now, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. Why did Rabbi Yehuda say that it's no good? Amar Kra, because he says I have a pasuk Chag Sukkos Taslach Shivas Yamim, and what? Sukkah Haruya L'Shiva Shma Sukkah. So it's got to be 7. Sukkah She'ein Haruya L'Shiva Lo Shma Sukkah. Therefore, this, like we said, would not be able to be all 7 days. I have a pasuk says you need 7 days. No good. Reb Meir. What about Reb Meir? What does he do with this pasuk? So he says Hanami Midaraisa Merz Yechaze. Basically, Midaraisa, it would be good. So technically it's good, that's why I say it's okay. The Rabbanan who the Gazerban, he says it was just. The Rabbanan were Gazer it, and it's okay, so therefore we can use it for a sukkah. Now, this is the new portion. Asal lebehema daifin. If let's say the person took an animal, again, this is the new part, and he made it a wall for the sukkah. Reb Meir Paisel Meir says it's no good. Rabbi Yehuda Machshir Yehuda says it is good. Shahayir Reb Meir Aimer, because Reb Meir would say, Kol davar sheish beruach chaim, ein oisen oisei loy daifin l'sukkah, and also not v'loy lechi lemavoy, v'loy pasni birois. By the way, v'loy lechi lemavoy. Can you imagine the kaira, right? What's the kaira? The beam across. We said didn't reach. Imagine you tried to stretch out a camel from like one. Maybe we need like a giraffe or something. Tie him on both sides and keep him up there. So mishum Rabbi Yosef, v'loy pasni birois, and also not sort of those simonim to enclose that area for the wells. V'loy goy l'kever, and not a seal or a covering for a kaver. Mishum Rabbi Yosef Glili, and additionally, Rabbi Yosef Glili says, Amru af ein kaisven of gitinashim. You also don't write get of a get on an animal, and everyone keep doing the chazara. Have a wonderful night. Yeah.